Really, one couldn't think of a better setting than Merseyside for this great match. Merseyside, where there are some of the greatest football fans of Europe, and looking to see something from these new Brazilians. Manga in goal, takes the place of Gilmar. He's no novice, this boy. He's 29 years of age. Fidélis, Brito, Orlando and Rildo, a complete new defensive line. The two leg men, Denílson and Lima. Then in the forward line, Jairzinho, the great Pelé, Silva and Paraná. Paraná playing his first World Cup match, but he has played 5 times for Brazil. Morais comes in the defence in place of Festa, and Batista moves in place of the veteran Hamano or Jumeno. Brazil captained by Orlando. Orlando now 31 years of age, played in all their matches in the World Cup in 1962. Back in the team to skipper the side, and the most important match that the Brazilians have played since they won the final 4 years ago. Orlando, number 7, played 20 times for his country. This is the great inside forward trio. Eusébio, the tall Torres from Benfica, 6'3". And Simões on the left. So all ready to go, Portugal versus Brazil. One wonders whether the Portuguese, who need only draw, will fall back in defence. Hilário. Getting into trouble, the referees penalise the Brazilians. A free kick now to Portugal, just outside the penalty area. And a lot of goals have been scored in this World Cup already from dead ball positions. Now Eusébio really hit the ball hard. Always willing to have a shot. They cracked through the ball, and Manga made a terrible mistake. And what an experience for any goalkeeper. That was the first shot he's had to save in this World Cup. Playing in his first match, he got a kick as well, and a bit lucky to get away with that because the rebound might have been snapped up. Paraná now for Brazil. Denílson. Lima, that's Lima. Back there, but the forwards are going to work like mad here to help the defence. Beautiful ball. Oh, and they were lucky to get away with that. Corner. And really this Brazilian defence in this opening couple of minutes doesn't look any more certain than the defence did against Hungary last week. Corner being taken by Eusébio. Denílson, these two are the midfield pair. Paraná. shouting at the referee, and the whistle's gone this time for a foul by Silva. Pelé made a pretty emphatic appeal to the referee then, but Mr. McCabe was very close to the incident. Didn't show any signs of response at all. Eusébio, he's really bursting his way through there and using his strength. So let's see if he has another crack. This goalkeeper can't feel too happy about what happened last time. This man with one of the hardest shots in Europe. Manga really trying to organise the defensive wall to get a clear view. Dipping hard. He didn't hit it hard, but kind of ball that people don't like. Brito. Paraná. His lively start to this match. Portuguese defender was held. The referee let it go. This is Silva to Paraná. Coluna, one of the most experienced players in this defence. Goalkeeper, by the way, José Pereira. No relation, I don't think, of the great Costa Pereira, the Benfica goalkeeper who played for Portugal so many times. And Torres. Torres is quick for a tall man. He takes long strides and his speed's rather deceptive. Denílson. Lima. Pelé to chase, and he's there. One can't really take liberties with Pelé. Pereira was very, very quickly off the line. Hilário back to Orlando. Augusto. Augusto again. Brazilians marking much more tightly this time. Fidélis, one of the new players. Throw to Portugal. Brito looks a pretty strong and powerful player. Lima. Nicely done there by Silva. Under pressure all the time. Brito again. Silva. Denílson challenging the ball. The other midfield man, Lima. Now Pelé upended. Really was tipped up there. So it's a free kick to Brazil. Paraná. Pelé's got straight up out of the box. word now from Ron Greenwood.
He's quickly settling down here. Torres is playing as a fireman, and the situation that was created for Eusébio was created by him and Simões, whereas Pelé also is playing as a fireman, and instead of dropping the ball into feet, they're playing the ball over his head to capitalise on the shortness in height of Vicente, who is marking him. It's quite interesting at the moment and living up to expectation.
Free kick to Portugal. It's Mario Coluna, one of their most experienced players. A bit of a knock there, and looks quite hurt about it as well. Well, that kind of ball gives an uncertain goalkeeper the chance to get a feel of the ball, but you can see how uncertain Manga was by the way he threw that ball out. He's not too happy yet, obviously. Off at the knees, brought right down.
This will be interesting because you must remember that all Brazil's 3 goals have come from free kicks. Let's see if this is going to be the 4th one.
Well, Pelé's damaged knee in trouble. That's old Americo, the trainer. No doubt he's got something in that wonderful bag he carries round. And Dr. Gosling, the medical advisor to the Brazilian national side, who plays such a big part in their activity, out there talking to Pelé as well. Quite apart from all the action Pelé gets through in a match, he also gets through quite a lot of talk, as we've seen in this World Cup. He never seems to stop talking. So the setup on now for yet another of these Brazilian free kicks. All their 3 goals in the competition so far scored from around this position just outside the penalty area. José Pereira knows what's coming. He knows he's going to be tested in some way. And an enormous red wall in front there. Oh, Pereira didn't like that one little bit. I'm not surprised. He rather jumped into it a little bit. And a bit of trouble going on there as the Portuguese surround the Brazilian player responsible. And he's being dragged out by his own players. Silva it was.
Very slow there, moving away evasively. If he'd have stood and turned a little, and if they'd have hit him over the line, I've seen many goals scored in this way, but he was lucky enough to stay front, and they caught him in the midriff, and of course obviously a foul.
The crowd swaying up and down, absolutely packed in to see this match. An extremely good start to it. One hopes it's not going to be spoiled by injuries. A match full of interest. One hopes that great players like Pelé and Eusébio aren't going to get too much stick in this match and be targets for aggression all the time. But of course, in a match of this importance, it's almost unavoidable. Augusto. Eusébio. Simões. Eusébio. Torres, the tall Torres, is poaching in the penalty area, and again Eusébio brought down. Looks at the referee, let it go. But I would have thought it was certainly a foul. So it's going to be Eusébio with the corner. Simões. Jaime holding on the defence to Paraná. Beautiful football, very good football by this player. Paraná, new to the international side of this World Cup. But Coluna, the man responsible, the Portuguese captain, and Brazil quickly on with it, but brought back by the referee. lift the Brazilians. They're getting the bird for wasting time. Simões. Oh, what a bad ball by Denílson to Eusébio. Eusébio can cause enough trouble without help like that. Trying to help the defence. It's Simões now. Eusébio. He didn't actually hit that ball, but he did have to turn very quickly. He didn't get it with his full power. But it's interesting to see that he was allowed the space there in the penalty area to get in the shot. Orlando. Graça. Simões. To Eusébio. Some good running there by Eusébio. That was a good ball. It's there! Congratulated, and Eusébio was allowed too much space to get that ball back. Simões to the outside left, so Portugal lead by 1-0.
This is this ball just around our area, just going away from the goal all the way. Looks no danger. Eusébio scored a goal similar to this against Bulgaria on Saturday. He turns on it quickly, makes space for himself, crosses the ball over. Let's face it, Manga made an awful match of it, and there was Simões just to head the loose ball that came off him.
Brazil, the world champions, really in trouble now. They could be on their way out. And really this defence, which has been so much changed, doesn't look any more secure than the defence they played against Hungary. They seem terribly uncertain. Torres, the tall centre forward, he wanted to Eusébio. Torres again, on to Simões. Eusébio. Hurried there. The whistle was gone. A bit of trouble going on when the ball had gone away, and it's a free kick now to Portugal, by the look of it, just outside the penalty area. That action took place off the ball. The two greatest inside forwards in the world in your picture, Pelé just backing out, and Eusébio. So another chance now for Portugal. Manga has been growing ulcers in that goal the way this match has started. That's Coluna there, the captain, organising things with Eusébio. The wall lined up, a pretty solid wall. And Manga never moved at all. It wasn't all that far wide. These Brazilians really are so uncertain in defence, it's quite remarkable. Now Orlando, the Brazilian captain, has got a real job in his hands, and that's no way to start it. Graça to Eusébio. Now Coluna. Graça again. Eusébio. Silva to Jaime. Silva making a lot of space. There's Silva again. He never stopped running from when he played the first ball. And a beautiful change of pace by Silva. To José. Lima. Pelé. A real cloud of red shirts there were gathering round Pelé to shut out the shot. Torres to Eusébio. Graça linking up to the attack. Well, the Portuguese Portuguese came into this competition and were not given a great deal of chance, but my word, what a discovery they've been. They really are the most underrated side. Denílson. Jairzinho to Silva. Silva's a pretty powerful forward. One looking at him playing tonight, one wonders why he hasn't played more for them. He looks very strong indeed. Jairzinho. All the Portuguese defence regrouping in the box. In fact, at the moment, we'll have 10 players, there's exactly 10 players in the Portuguese penalty area, 10 defenders. It's just a waste of a kick. Coluna now. Or Eusébio rather. Eusébio getting through an awful lot of work. Drafting all the time.
Early on, I mentioned about the fact that Portugal and other teams were strong in defence. Here we have had them doing great attacking work only by 3 forwards. They have so much space in which to play the ball, they can't help but make space for themselves, and so proves dangerous to the Brazilian goal.
Hilário on to Paraná. This Liverpool crowd being treated to yet another great game. Morais with the throw. Remember, this packed crowd really enjoying this match. Hilário. Silva with Pelé with him. Denílson, who didn't get home. A great deal depends in this match on the way that Denílson and Lima, the 2 midfield men, can get a grip on it. They're in the game a lot at the moment, but they've not played anything very original because they're being chased and harried and not allowed time in possession. Link man. Watching the incident of the goal mouth there, the ball wasn't clear of the penalty area and has to be retaken. Denílson. Fidélis. Jaime, better known as Jairzinho. These defenders are not too happy at all. They can't settle down. Lima. Lima being forced all the time to play the ball under pressure. Both the midfield men being chased every time they're in possession. Now Simões. Simões, the goal scorer, the man who's given Portugal this 1-0 lead. It's interesting that so far Pelé, in this clash of the 2 great inside forwards in the world, Pelé and Eusébio very much in this game, but Pelé really hasn't been brought into it a great deal. There's Pelé, number 10, Jaime. Fidélis being told it's a throw. All the Brazilian men tightly locked, not being given any space. Jair almost making it, being fouled as he turned. Torres, the tall centre-forward, has gone back into the penalty area for this free kick. Denílson. Silva, he's a really strong player, this one. Now Pelé couldn't find a way through to Silva. Almost 25 minutes gone. Portugal 1, the world champions Brazil 0. Now Orlando. Nice piece of football to Hilário. Lima. And as one watches the pattern of play developing, it's quite easy to see that the man in possession for Brazil can't really find anyone unmarked. The marking is very tight indeed by these Portuguese defenders. They're keeping close to their opposite numbers. They're not giving them space. And that makes it very difficult for the man in possession to find anyone unmarked. Lima to Silva. Now Pelé. Oh, and you can see the panic Pelé can cause in the defence there. It was just the presence of Pelé as much as anything else that upset them, and a misunderstanding between Batista and the goalkeeper. Graça. Eusébio chopped again. Very difficult player to play against, though. The man who did the damage, Hilário. And it's Coluna now the captain with the kick. We'll float one across for the tall centre-forward, Torres. And it is... as Torres... and another one! Eusébio! Eusébio, the second goal for Portugal, and surely Brazil out of the World Cup. Floated across as predicted for Torres, and there was Eusébio unmarked and poaching. Portugal 2, Brazil 0, and here's Ron Greenwood.
This has been a pattern of Portugal's free kicks all through the tournament. This is the first time the Everton crowd have seen Portugal. They float this long free kick over to Torres, and there's the ever-alert Eusébio, always on the alert, ready for the flick. And certainly enough there today, he flew in onto this one, completely unmarked, and headed the ball past the helpless Manga.
Well, what can Brazil do? The champions in 58, the champions again in 62, but now almost certainly on their way out of the World Cup. Pelé, perhaps the one man who could do something for them. Hilário to Paraná. Eusébio back there in defence, with Paraná making space beautifully. Pelé didn't really make a decisive challenge for that ball. One wonders if that knee's 100% fit. Orlando. There's no point now in defence for Brazil. There's only one way to win this one. To try to handle that one. Whistle's got it. Free kick. Brito. And there's no doubt at all that any time the ball is pumped high into the Brazilian goal mouth, Torres, this tall Portuguese centre-forward, is going to cause trouble. He's won practically every ball in the air so far. Denílson. Orlando. And the Brazilians not being given the time they need. Eusébio is everywhere. Outshining Pelé at the moment. Graça. Torres. Tall and difficult to move, an awkward player to play against. José Torres, the man who made that last goal, played 15 times for Portugal. Now Lima. Denílson back to Orlando. Pelé. Paraná. Paraná looks well capable of causing a lot of trouble to this defence, but the build-up by the Brazilians is not really quick enough. It's got a nasty knock on the ankle, so it's a free kick to Brazil. Paraná, 24 years of age, he's playing in his 5th international. A chance there, but the referee's whistle has gone. And that was Denílson, one of the midfield players, poaching in with the attack, just offside. The Brazilian drummer, ready and waiting to go, but there's nothing to shout about at the moment. That's Jair. Silva. Pelé. Again, fouled. I thought twice, actually. The referee let it go the first time. It really was heavily brought down again there the second time, quite unnecessarily so, too. And remember, the worst part about this from Pelé's point of view is the fact that he's got this injured knee. Hilton Gosling, the doctor, on the field every time that Pelé is hurt. And my word, at this moment, the Brazilians need someone like Pelé. So while he's being treated, here's Ron Greenwood with his thoughts so far.
At the moment, it's quite a turn-up for the book, in the sense that many people thought that Brazil had to go for the goals, and in reverse here we have Portugal 2 goals up, and thoroughly deserving so. As I said earlier, their pattern of play is quite defensive, in the sense of they're strong at the back, but the way they move out of defence is much different from Brazil at the moment. Brazil are tending to play the long ball up to Pelé, and this is not paying because it's not their pattern of game. It's running through to the keeper. Just 5 minutes ago, I did notice him coming off his marker and came midfield and set up an attack. And I would feel that this would be better for him to employ his tactics in this way, because at the moment, this Portuguese defence are giving nothing away, whereas in the Brazilian defence, as I said earlier, there is very slack marking, very similar to the Hungarian side. Torres again back there, always goes back for all the free kicks. At the moment, he's in the line, but normally he's outside of the line to make sure he makes use of his height. As I said earlier, all the Brazilian defenders, whilst there's plenty of them, it allows, like Hungary did, one man to run and cut out the 4 of them, as Eusébio did with that, what we call a blindside ball, into the box, away from his markers, and he quickly turned on it and crossed the ball. At the moment, as I said earlier in this World Cup competition, there's some shocking goalkeeping. I would feel that many managers in this country would look at goalkeepers and start going out with a checkbook. But at the moment, Manga has in no way justified his selection over Gilmar. Even in the first minute, Eusébio curved the ball. In America, they have a baseball player called Sandy Koufax who throws a ball, a pitcher, and they say, here's Koufax's curve ball. Well, here, Manga must be wondering what Eusébio's curve ball must be like, because the first free kick caught him completely unawares, and he was very lucky to gather the rebound.
And it looks as if Pelé may be going off. Dr. Gosling and Americo, the trainer, looked to have taken the decision for Pelé. I think Pelé was reluctant to go, but this a really sad sight. The world's greatest footballer, who's not really had a chance to stamp himself on this game so far, off the pitch. Big wall built up for the free kick, Silva banging it right into it. So Brazil really in trouble. It's Fidélis for Silva to fight for, but the Brazilians must now be feeling very dispirited indeed. Pereira being booed by the crowd every time for wasting time. Fidélis. Hilário. Nicely played. Stadium. Simões. Eusébio trying to burst through. This defence really has shown us nothing at all. They're not organised, they're uncertain, they're nervous, and of course they're in trouble, 2-0 down. Lima. Pelé having that leg heavily bandaged. This is Silva. Actually, Silva, who's come into this side, number 19, has looked a very, very effective player indeed. He looks strong, he's eager, he's very, very willing. Most of the trouble that the Portuguese have had so far has come from Silva. Simões. Torres to Eusébio, but he sold him short. Paraná. Coluna, a good tackle. Coluna not easy to move off that ball. Torres. Simões, good reverse ball to Torres. Eusébio's with him. There's 10 minutes left in this first half. Portugal 2, Brazil, the world champions, 0. Fidélis. Beaten for speed. At this stage, it certainly looks as if Portugal will retain this 100% record. They beat Hungary 3-1 in the first match, mainly through the Hungarian goalkeeper's mistakes. And then went on and beat Bulgaria 3-0 last Saturday, and now leading the world champions 2-0. Hilário. Pelé, in the meantime, is waiting to come back. Waiting for a break in play. Jairzinho trying to bulldoze his way through. Is it a penalty? No, the referee waves play on. Referee very quick to say no. The crowd not all together agree about that, but Mr. McCabe was right on the spot. He didn't hesitate at all. Simões to Eusébio. Eusébio always looked like beating him then on the outside. He was trying to bend that one, but didn't quite get it right. Pelé back on the field, so Brazil back to 11 men. Getting a very good welcome to this crowd. Augusto. Actually, one of the Portuguese defenders is limping as well, but Jairzinho now. Chance for Brazil. And he should have scored then, he had a lot of room. Jairzinho really given too much space. Lima. Brazilians putting it all in. Jairzinho! And Pereira very quickly off the line and way out of the penalty area. Torres, the centre forward, back to help them out. And the Portuguese are in a bit of trouble as well. Paraná brought Torres down. Number 16, Graça, is limping. And obviously not too happy. Simões. Torres lurking there and winning the ball in the air yet again. Simões. Manga must have been delighted that Simões didn't really hit that. It's very significant indeed that every time the ball is pumped across in the air, Torres wins it. The orthodox cross ball is giving this Brazilian defence so much trouble, it's just not true. Offside given. And Silva, this strong forward, looks pretty dangerous, looks a very useful player too. Pelé, incidentally, is carrying that right leg. He's limping on it very heavily. Brazilian style of football is a casual style. They tend to stroke it about and play it at a quite a leisurely pace, even when they're in trouble, but there's no signs at all at the moment that they can rescue this position. Well, the crowd don't like this, and one has the feeling, really, that the Portuguese don't need to do it. Brito. Fidélis. Jaime back to Fidélis. Vicente. I haven't seen Vicente, number 4, in this match very much at all. He's the man who was given the job of marking Pelé, but he's not really had a great deal to do because Pelé really hasn't been able to get in the game at all. Not to see the kind of service he needs, and now, of course, he's carrying that right knee. Really limping quite heavily. Hilário. That's a good ball. This is Jaime. Now Silva. Jaime. Playing it a little bit too close there, but almost forced to play it, really, by the pack of defenders. Orlando. Paraná has switched wings. This boy looks a very useful player. A bit unlucky that he didn't get that one back, but he certainly seems to give them trouble every time he tries to go by on the outside. Paraná. So significant, actually. The Brazilians have wasted several corners. They've not really got them across. This is trouble. Eusébio. A bit lucky, the ball ran for him, but he made full use of it. And really, Eusébio in full flight is one of the great sights in this competition.
Eusébio is a little unlucky in some of these runs because he makes wonderful runs, and unfortunately he has nobody to join him because his break is so quick, and this is consequently why you find him shooting from such great distances. But nevertheless, one feels that even from that distance he's going to hit the back of the net.
Pelé. Even on one leg he can be dangerous. Jaime trying to find Silva. Paraná. Quick enough control there. Lima. Pereira. Brito. Silva. Paraná again. Hands given. Quite rightly so too. The ball spun up. He was just a bit unlucky, but he controlled it with his hand. Crowd getting a bit restive about the time-wasting tactics of Pereira here. He's done it ever since the match started. Hilário brought down, so it's a free kick. Well, that's about the first really aimless ball we've seen in this match so far. Throughout the match, the teams have been trying to do something. There's been not any of the hit and hope stuff played here. It's all been under control. I think Silva. The ball was just hanging there. It wouldn't go on for him. bit of confusion among the players. They're not quite sure what the referee's decision is, but it's a corner. Fidélis linking up to the attack of Pelé. Lima getting into trouble. Torres onto Eusébio. Orlando. Jaime. Pelé, who's now gone out to the wing with his damaged knee. Jaime. And Paraná. Another free kick. Well, again, it's in the danger position. The Portuguese are disappointing doing this in the penalty area, but it's always just outside. This is about the 4th or 5th free kick to be taken just outside the box. In fact, just a quick word, I've been calling number 9 for Brazil, Hilário. In fact, I apologise, it's Rildo who came into the side late. Rildo, Hilário is number 9 on the Portuguese side. So, just in case you're making a note of the teams, number 9 is Rildo for Brazil. Fantastic free kick. Really hit it very hard. Denílson. Just to underline that, Hilário is number 9 for Portugal, Rildo is number 9 for Brazil. Silva. And there's the half-time whistle. Most interesting first half with Portugal leading by 2-0. And very, very good value for that 2-0 lead. The goals scored by Simões and Eusébio. And certainly this Brazilian defence has never looked quite capable of handling the problems posed by this three-pronged Portuguese attack, with Torres winning practically every ball in the penalty area. 2-0 then to Portugal, and Brazil, the world champions, almost certainly on the way out of the competition. So Brazil now down to 10 men, 2-0 down. Denílson to Rildo. Denílson. Paraná. Rildo. Simões. Augusto playing it. Brito. Orlando. Denílson. Coluna. Captain of this side, he must be very proud of the way they've played in this World Cup. Brito. Graça. This is Eusébio. There's a buzz every time he gets the ball. Augusto. Simões. Rildo for Brazil. 14 Lima. This is Silva. Jaime. Augusto, or Graça rather, is linked up with the attack. Jaime. There's absolutely no nonsense in this World Cup. If a man makes space, that's Hilário who brought him down. If a man makes space and looks dangerous, he's hauled down. And Mr. McCabe, who's refereeing this match extremely well, Lima with the kick. Silva to Pelé. Pelé back on the field. We've not noticed him come back on. Batista taking no chances. Pelé carrying that right leg, but as Ron Greenwood said, he's the kind of player who could cause damage even on one leg. It's Denílson. Rildo linking up with the attack. Denílson again. Pelé, what a lovely flick. Pereira taking a bump off Paraná, the referee letting it go. But one could never afford to write off a player like Pelé. Rildo. Silva trying to get a flick through. And Pelé challenging for the ball and being penalised. The great problem for players of Pelé's class in the World Cup is survival. In the last World Cup he played a match and a half. This time I suppose one could say the same thing's happened. Using that great height again. Eusébio. So watching Manga, the goalkeeper, hopping up and down on the line there, he doesn't fill one with confidence at all. He's leaping around, nervous, worried. Clearly not too happy about the way the match started for him. Lima. Paraná. Silva. Lima. Fidélis. Oh, terrible caught in possession like this. It's Simões. Eusébio always on hand. Oh, and he really blasted that ball. The crowd absolutely rocked forward to see what had happened, and he really thumped it. Eusébio, one of the hardest hitters of a ball in Europe.
There was the curveball again. It nearly even went in on the far post. He scored one like this from a corner kick, Torres, right over to the far post. You'll notice Torres always lurking over at their far post. There's Coluna just headed the ball away. He's having a great game here, and he must feel very pleased, as David said, with a lot of the play that's being played. The Portuguese side are finding it easy to play the ball about to feet, and then eventually one of them makes a run like Eusébio's doing now, and they break away with individuality.
Eusébio looking a bit round off with the treatment he's getting there. But in fact he's in a rather better position than Pelé, who I suppose one can say has been hammered out of the World Cup. The trouble didn't really start tonight. It started in the first match against Bulgaria. He's not really been fit since. Silva. Denílson. Paraná. The Portuguese side composed mainly of Benfica players. And of course these Benfica players have got a great deal of international experience. They won the European Cup, and most of the players from Benfica are playing tonight. We're in that European Cup winning side. They know their way about in international football, and certainly at the true international level, the big test, the World Cup, they've found themselves. Now Jaime. Lima. That was a good ball. It almost had the goalkeeper in trouble, and he got a knock as he went for it. But he was very, very quick off the line. He really was. As Jaime was chasing through, and there's a lot of bickering going on about the way he went into the ball, but George McCabe telling him to calm down and saying, I'm watching the time.
There's a wonderful example of this lifted ball over a wall of defenders, and with the runner going in all the way, it's essential, the ball dropping just behind the line of defenders between the goalkeeper, it's essential the goalkeeper comes and takes possession of that ball. Otherwise, there's a complete misunderstanding, and as Torres scored a goal against Bulgaria in the same way. He certainly looks as if he's laid out there, but let's hope there's nothing really serious.
In these World Cup matches, one's always suspicious of injuries of all kinds. It does seem that players make the most of them. Coluna, Mario Coluna, with the moustache and the white armband, captain of Portugal. Looks a bit portly nowadays, but he's getting through the match in a lot of work. Pereira, I think, will be all right. Mario Coluna getting through an awful lot of work in this match. Rildo. Lima. See if Pereira's got the message from the crowd. Got rid of it a bit more quickly. Brito to Orlando. Rildo. Normally plays out on the wing, though he's switched to the middle since Pelé's been injured. Hilário with the kick. It's about the first time Torres has been beaten in the air. Denílson. Pelé just hasn't got the legs to go. What a disappointment it must be for this player. Eusébio, Torres, Eusébio, my word, that was only a fraction out. Orlando did well to get a foot to it. Denílson. Rildo. Lima. Portuguese will be quite happy to let the Brazilians play like this because they're not in a dangerous situation. This is Silva. Paraná. Brazil, of course, can't afford really to take it too easily. Portugal, rather, can't afford to take it too easily because the Brazilians, you know, a point would be useful to them because Hungary has still got to beat Bulgaria tomorrow night. Now it's Fidélis with the kick. Silva just a little bit disgusted. He lost his geography a little bit there. I think he thought that was rather closer to the goal than it was. Jairzinho is doing a good job in the middle. He's getting up well to the ball, Jairzinho, number 17. But Silva, a very strong player. Denílson. To Fidélis. Denílson. Joya. Now Orlando, the Brazilians all up in attack. They're really putting it all in. Pelé. Oh, and he went through with a tackle there that looked rather dangerous. And he's being told about it too. He definitely went through over the top of that ball but didn't connect with the defender. Obviously he's a bit upset about it. And that's Batista telling him what he thinks about him.
There's that ball pushed into space again for Eusébio to run on, and they're turning this Brazilian defence around. They just haven't got an answer. That ball favoured from Graça, not from Simões. Graça is a young player that's definitely made his mark in this World Cup as a midfield link with Coluna.
Graça, number 16. Simões. Orlando. Denílson. Batista very quickly after that. Now Pelé. Good flick to Paraná. What good control. Jair almost got to that. That was the first sign of a misunderstanding we've really seen in the Benfica defence. The goalkeeper didn't really dominate the box there, and his own players got in the way. Brito. Lima. Jaime. Just outside the penalty area. The referee's not given a foul at all. Paraná. He let that one go too. Eusébio. Simões. Torres is going up towards the far post again. Misunderstanding in running there. Half an hour left. The world champions losing to Portugal by 2-0. Jair. And Torres is deceptively past centre forward. Eusébio. Simões breaking on the left. Simões. Not a good header. Simões again. Eusébio is an interesting player there. He's not just content to blast the ball flat out every time. He just tried to float that one and tease the goalkeeper slightly. Lima onto Denílson. Batista. Denílson to Rildo. Pelé. His movement's very restricted. Lima. Well, the referee thought the dive was bad and the tackle was good. He let it go. Simões. And there's just a little bit of peevishness coming into it there. I think Mr. McCabe might have penalised the first tackle, in fact. He may have thought he was playing the advantage, but Simões just ran into a load more trouble. And one or two of the Brazilians now beginning to look as if they're not taking this too happily. But there's somebody who's quite relaxed. Coluna, captain of the side. They must feel they've got this match well under control. Hilário trying to take the throw, but it's no doubt a Brazilian throw. Denílson with the throw. Oh, what a bad ball there. Oh, Eusébio. Graça. Fidélis. Coluna is getting through an awful lot of work in a most economical way. Had a bit of a lash at that, but really has played well. Being obstructed. Eusébio. Oh, beautiful football. 3 defenders there. He really must have tried to hit that from about 45 yards.
We're back again to this business of Eusébio breaking so fast that he tends to feel that he's going to get chopped down, so he gets his shot in early. What a tragic thing that he just cannot get somebody to join him on these runs, but he breaks at such fantastic speed. It looks as if we're not going to see anything spectacular coming from the Brazilians.
Jaime just getting a lucky break with a bounce.
Their running isn't as positive as it is when they're on top, or as sharp, and people are looking, tending to go and then come back. And this is always a sign. When a side is playing well, you'll see everybody running with great positive action and at the same time wanting the ball. But these Brazilians are beginning to look, I know they're handicapped by Pelé, but they're beginning to look as if they'll keep possession, but the final through ball is not going to be easy to find against this Portuguese defence.
Fidélis. Lima. José Torres. And to the centre forward. He just marks into action. You can see his speed. You can see him tempting the back of there and then just be prepared to use his speed. He really is a deceptive mover because he's got tremendously long legs. Quite happy to win the corner there because he was down there by himself. José Torres playing his 16th international for Portugal. And a man I've got a feeling is going to cause a lot of defences a lot of trouble. Eusébio, I think, will be looking for Torres' head. There, he just couldn't get there. Torres looks a lazy kind of runner, but in fact he's covering a lot of ground. Now Paraná. Coluna being penalised. Fidélis quickly on to Paraná. That's Jaime. Brazilians prepared to play for these flicks and touches in the penalty area, prepared to play with each other, but the Portuguese defence far too knowledgeable and far too tight to allow it to happen. They really are marking up extremely well when they get in the dangerous area around the box. Fidélis. And just look at there, Simões Gol tackling back like that. He was prepared, he was beaten in the end, but he was prepared to work like mad. Paraná. Well, the Portuguese defence was caught in a spot and follow there. Silva, who took a knock, There was a misunderstanding between them. The goalkeeper came a long, long way off the line.
Even the Fidélis was hampered there by Simões. Beautiful carrying of the ball on the outside of him, evading Simões, trying to get the tackle in. Eventually even had enough control and technique to twist and turn and get the cross in, which resulted in the incident that you're now looking. Pereira is coming out possibly now more than any goalkeeper I've seen in this competition up in this area. And it's a good job he is too, because these Brazilians are quite good in the air. Early on, Pelé headed one right over to the far post, and it was the only time that we felt that they'd got into trouble, and that I felt only because there was too many of them around Pereira, and it was a question of too many cooks spoiling the broth. They're now attending the injured player on the floor.
With Silva, it looks as if he might be all right. Pelé seems to be a man of a few thousand words on the pitch. He never stops talking. Of course, these two teams have a common language, and that's Torres sympathising with Pelé and getting the rundown on exactly what's the matter. Silva obviously not too happy, but nobody's got to take the corner until he's completely fit. The referee telling Pereira to get back on the field and let's get on with it. So a quarter to Brazil. A goal would perhaps give them the encouragement they desperately need, but they're not really looking like creating one at the moment. I don't know. The referee's given a goal kick to the Brazilians' disgust. He was very, very close to the incident. Batista with a kick. Played very well down to Graça. Graça got tremendous speed. Rildo. And the referees penalised Rildo. So it's a free kick to Portugal. Very quickly taken. Batista again. And yards offside. Paraná hopelessly caught. The defence came out very quickly. They could see what he was doing. They moved forward very, very quickly. It was yards offside. There's news being made at Goodison Park here tonight. This could be another one. Eusébio. Portuguese really dominating this match. Very much in control. Simões. Eusébio. Simões. Torres has gone to the far post. There he is. Torres just climbs so much higher than everybody else, it looks quite ridiculous. Obstruction, clearly. Well, now, what will they do? Remember, a goal came from a similar situation like this in the first half with a cross ball to Torres, who nodded it down, and Eusébio scored. This time, Eusébio's going to take the kick, I think. This man hits the ball as hard as anybody in the world. That ball went like a shell. I would think that Manga in the Brazilian goal really knew he'd got hold of that. Simões with the corner. Torres tearing into it. Manga just cutting it off before he got there. Now Lima. Lima. Joya, some good running by number 17, Joya. He's absolutely by himself. Alone on the ball, kept in play, no doubt about that, but it's out for a throw. Fidélis. Fidélis. As Pelé. Nicely controlled to Rildo. Jair, among these Brazilian forwards, is one of the best headers. He gets up particularly well. He's not a tall man, number 17 Jair, but he certainly gets up well. The defence really can't afford to take any liberties at all. Batista with a kick. Torres, who's beginning to lose balls now occasionally in the air. Orlando's beginning to handle it quite well. Now Rildo. Oh, it's a goal! Well, they were looking for that. They needed it, and it's one of their defencemen who linked up with the attack to score. Rildo, who came into the attack there, and the defence paused and gave him space. And he certainly hit it well and picked the spot as well. So that means that Brazil only have to pull one more back to get a point. Whilst a great deal depends on what happens tomorrow's night between Hungary and Bulgaria, they'll certainly go now, I would think, and try and get it. They've been a bit dispirited. It may be just what they needed. Now Eusébio. What a footballer this man is. What a good ball. They're always looking for that head of Torres too in the centre. Oh, Simões. It's a bad tackle by Paraná. Simões again. José Augusto. Simões. Augusto. What a good try again. He hit the ball well.
The goal there resulted, I feel, in the tendency of this Portuguese defence to pack too many in the goal mouth there. And Eusébio came back and told 4 of them that it allowed the shot to go in. There was 4 of them between the shot. Not one of them came out to take the forward, and as a result, obviously unsighted the keeper, although it was a great shot right down into the corner of the net. This is a tendency, if you go off the boil and begin to pack defence, that you're bound to create a false impression and have too many there.
Now Pelé. Pelé again. Oh, he just can't stand on that leg properly. The old Pelé, given that kind of room, would certainly have hit it then. Now Jair. Trying to play the L1-2 there, but it's not coming off against this defence at the moment. Simões pulled out of that tackle. Jair really working hard. Another corner. 15 minutes left. Brazil are to survive. They really need 2 points to stand a major chance, but 1 point could be enough. And the crowd, their supporters who've travelled so far, trying to lift them back into the game. Paraná with a kick. Everybody's up for the attack. This could be a dangerous moment for Brazil, but they're streaming back. Graça. Simões who's going to help him. There's Eusébio, the Portuguese spaceman. Always in space, always looking for the shot. When you hit a ball as hard as he does, it's no wonder. Incidentally, that plaster he's got in his eye, he got a cut eye in the first match last week against Spain. Orlando. Lima. Jair. Eusébio. Graça. Silva. Looks just a little bit as if the pace of this match is beginning to tell. The Portuguese seem to be either relaxing or getting a bit tired. They've got one or two older players on the side as well. They can't afford really to take any chances at all. This match isn't over by any means yet. Oh, beautiful Jaime. The ball just didn't run for him. And they're really beginning to probe this defence. Eusébio. Structured. He really is a very strong player. Eusébio, very difficult to move off the ball. Rildo, the goal scorer for Brazil. Oh, what a bad pass. Sold his man into trouble, but Lima recovering extremely well to Denílson. They're creating problems for themselves here. Eusébio. This is Hilário. Rildo. There's Pelé. Now Rildo. There's Vicente, number 4, the man who was given the job of shadowing Pelé, but he really hasn't had a great deal to do in this match. Hilário being held. So it's going to be Coluna or Batista with a kick. Simões. José, Augusto. Simões there. Being given the space to cross the ball. Got quite a bit of room there. Eusébio. Simões. Torres is still at the far post. Lima. Denílson. Orlando. Paraná. Morais timed that tackle beautifully. Just contained the player and waited for the right moment. Rildo. Jaime. Nobody at all up there in the attack. Silva went right through with that one. It didn't look pretty dangerous. Quickly back on the line. Actually, one's got a feeling about Pereira. He gets himself into all kinds of trouble, physical trouble, when he's no need to.
Isn't it amazing what a goal does? You can have all the psychological attitudes in this game of football, but give somebody a goal and it gives them yards. Here we've got Brazil giving and going with all their old verve and really causing this Portuguese defence some problems now. And one hopes that we're still going to see towards the end a great effort to recover this goal, although if they draw, of course, Portugal will go through still.
Still, that point could be very important to Brazil if they can get one. Brazilian players are not really going for that. It was rather surprising, in fact. Looked as if it might have been Lima's ball, but he made no challenge at all. Augusto to Eusébio. José Augusto played 31 times for Portugal, so he knows what international football is all about. Now Pelé, Rildo, Paraná. Eusébio always challenging for the ball. Player not afraid of physical contact. A lot of great ball players don't like the physical side of the game, but in fact this is one who doesn't mind it at all and has the strength to ride it too. Torres yards above everybody else. And he was hurt there. He twisted himself. He climbed so high there, and it rather looked at one person made a bit of a back for him. And he twisted himself as he fell. Lima. Rildo to Pelé. Jair, Rildo. That ball was always just going out of play. Well, Torres there got a bit of sympathy from Brito, number 5. The referee's had a quick word with him, and he's letting play go. Well, the great things now about making progress in the World Cup from a Portuguese point of view is not to get injuries. They're almost certain now to go through, of course. In fact, they are pretty certain. To the last 8. There's some unpredictable disaster strikes them, but they want to go through with 11 fit players as well. Rildo. Orlando went to help. Pelé to Orlando. Still they have this almost casual approach to football, but this is the way they played. Even when they're in trouble, they prepare to build slowly. That was a bad ball. That ball would have played onside. Looks as if just a little bit of the concentration's gone from Benfica. From Portugal, rather. There's so many Benfica players in this side, it tends to confuse the side of Benfica. Eusébio. Simões a beautiful ball. What a good pass. Oh! The way this man hits a ball, really, Manga must be like a man at a shooting target. He really blasts the ball. The goalkeeper really hasn't got much hope of holding it. Simões bending one for Torres. Eusébio. Oh, my word! Have you ever seen anything like that? The European Footballer of the Year, and tonight has looked the greatest footballer in the world. What a blast. Look at that. Whoa. The defence absolutely froze stunned. They couldn't believe it. And the angle there was quite acute as well.
What a goal. You could see him actually positioning his body so that he could get that right foot well up, because he needed to get well over the ball because it was bouncing up, and I've seen many similar situations go way over the bar, but here was a perfect example. You could see the perfect technique of how he hit that ball, and again, although it was a little lucky to go to him, again a header from Torres from a corner.
Now Pelé. Pelé must feel that Eusébio is a real rival to him as the greatest footballer in the world. A bit of confusion as to what the referee has given, but the decision's a corner. So this is Lima with the corner. Coluna banging that one for Graça to chase. Rildo to Lima. Lima with the throw. Paraná as Pelé. Oh, and my word, he's almost killed Coluna with that kick. He caught it in his stomach. It really hurt him. And Lima with the throw. As Jairzinho works hard to get a goal. Pelé went charging in there. Pelé went flying in. It's almost as if he's looking for trouble. Despite that injured leg, that was really an aggressive move. Word from Ron Greenwood about that.
Yes, I'm afraid that it wasn't entirely in the Pelé fashion. He's an artist, and we don't like to see him doing things like that, but obviously he's feeling a little frustrated with all this, because this is the first time, as I said earlier, that they've had to face possible early elimination, and they've certainly got it now. The interesting fact is about these Portuguese goals, they've scored 6 before tonight's game, and I've seen all of them, and I would say that they've got 5 gifts. Now, this is a little unkind to them. Whilst they've deserved to score goals, the 5 goals out of the 6 they've got have been complete gifts, in my opinion. But here tonight, the 3 goals they've taken have certainly made up for those gifts, and everyone's been a cracker and well worth seeing.
So Brazil, it looks on the way out of the World Cup. This is Torres now. Can he make it 4? Just a bit ungainly in movement. And he's certainly not too happy about the knock he got earlier. Simões is quite content to play for time. And Batista to Eusébio. Torres. Portugal just strolling now. Just playing possession football and really teasing the world champions. Eusébio just couldn't get it round for the shot. Hilário to Coluna. Hilário. And Brazil being given the runaround. And they don't like it very much there. Paraná was looking for the man who got the ball in the end, but it's Hilário now. Well, this enormous crowd must be well satisfied with what they've seen tonight. A really good match. And there's no doubt at all, Brazilians well beaten. Pereira here just blatantly wasting time. And there is the final whistle. Eusébio, the man of the match. The crowd rising to this great player who's the first man off the field, being congratulated by reserves and the team manager, and Eusébio has had the kind of game that any player would like to remember. Coming back to be saluted by the crowd, my word, how he deserves their salute. Rildo congratulating him. Eusébio, who's had a match to remember. Portugal 3, Brazil 1. The goal scorer for Brazil, Rildo. The goal scorers for Portugal, Eusébio 2, and Simões.